Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I did forget my headphones, so if you hear my voice kind of echoing, I apologize for that in advance. But anyways, let's get today done with. Today's Monday, beautiful law of exponents part 2. I don't know how to start this, ladies and gentlemen. We need to figure out a way how to, I don't want to say memorize, because memorize is a terrible word, but we need to convey and know how to use this, because this is going to be on your reference chart. All I did is I took a picture of the exponents and I put it right there on your notes, so you know that it's going to be on your reference chart when you have the STAR test. Let's go through each one at a time. Real quick, I am not going over rational exponent because it's a little too tedious for us right now. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to make anything more complicated, since we do have these 4 laws and the zero exponent law. Okay, let's make sure we know. For product of exponent, product of powers, the product rule, we are multiplying coefficients. I'm going to abbreviate coefficients. And then right here for my exponents, it's telling me to add. Write it out, make sure you know, okay, product of powers, multiply coefficients, add exponents. Quotient of powers, different color. This is divide or reduce coefficients. And then subtract. Exponents. Okay, very, very important. Power to power, different color. This is a different one. Power to power. This is where we do the coefficients in the calculator. This is where I can take power of coefficient, where we have the number, and then we have our exponent, let's put an x. And then our exponents, we multiply. And then this last one, negative, this mu. This, I told you to try doing it on Friday. You should have watched those mini videos. But we can't have a negative exponent, so if it's negative, it turns into a positive as a fraction. Or, if it's on the bottom, let's say a to the negative end, it changes to a to the positive end. Alright? So it goes either way. We cannot have negative exponents. If it's on top of the fraction, it comes to the bottom. If it's on the bottom of the fraction, it comes to the top. If there's no fraction, you make the fraction. If it's just something straight up, if it's something like 3x to the negative 1, and then y to the 3, then you change it. 3 over x to the 1, negative 1, is not supposed to be negative, so it comes to the bottom. Y3 is positive, so it stays there on the top. Okay, we're going to go over that in a little bit. I'm going to move on. If you need to redo it, recopy, pause it, keep going. Breakdowns of each rule. So, make sure you go after the parentheses first, so you can do the power rule. After that, you need to decide, okay, am I doing the quotient or the product? Look at the rules that we just did. And watch out for negative exponents. Make sure, hey, I need to change it into a fraction, or it goes to bottom to top, top to bottom. First example. So there's no parentheses, so we're good here. This is a fraction, so fraction is my quotient rule. Quotient rule says fraction. That tells me I need to do something with the coefficients. and then I do something with the exponents. If you wrote it down upstairs, you should know, okay, boom, 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 let's do it. You write it 45 and negative 6, P2, V 12 over 15 n to the negative 2, P8, V to the negative 4. Let's do it. Coefficients. What do I do with these coefficients? Look upstairs. You should know coefficients are either divided or reduced. In this case, just put it in your numWorks calculator. It'll hook you up. Put in a fraction, 45 over 15. You should get 3. You write it lower. 3. Write it lower because we're going to just go like this. As you can see, we have variables that are on top of each other, exactly the same. If there's no other variable, then you just leave it alone. But here we do have variables on top of each other, exactly the same, so it's easier just to do the subtraction from the rule. The rule says in Quotient Rule to make sure you do subtracting of the exponents. All right. Let's do that. M. Top one goes first. Negative 6 minus negative 2. Do you need something?
I think you are.
Oh, I got you. I'll put it out right now. Negative 6 minus negative 2. That gives me n. Calculator. Negative 6, where did I get it from the top? Negative 2 right here, and we're subtracting. You should get a negative 4. Next one, I'm going to use a different color just to make sure we tell the difference. P, top from bottom, 2 minus 8. 2 minus 8, use your calculator. M to the negative 6. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not M. P. P to the negative 6. So as you can tell, we have negative exponents already right here. We're going to have to do something. And the last one. V, top to bottom, 12 minus negative 4. Calculate it real quick. V to 16. Great. Yes, this would be my answer. But we cannot have negative exponents. This is my answer. Remember, positive numbers go on top. Negatives or not, I don't want to say that, I'm sorry. If it's negative, you're switching it up. If it was a fraction, we bring it from the bottom to the top, top to the bottom, so forth. Right here is just a straight up line, so I made a fraction. Coefficient's always going to go on the top, because it's like 3 over 1. Next we decide, okay, n negative 4, am I going to put it on the top or the bottom? Well, in this case, it's already on the top, so I need to bring it to the bottom as a positive, and to the positive 4. P to the negative 6, also coming down. P to the positive 6. V to the 16 is positive, so it stays on top of the 3. And this is my answer. What the French toast just happened, sir? This is my answer. The negative rule is a little bit confusing. All you got to know is, hey, if my answer is straight up like this, make a fraction. If they're negatives, I'm going to bring them down. Positives stay at the top. Coefficients always going to stay at the top. Okay? If you had a fraction, I hope I have an example of that. If you had a fraction already and there's negatives on the top, you bring them to the bottom. There's negatives on the bottom, you bring them to the top. Sounds really confusing, I know, but we're going to figure it out, I promise. So, let's do it. Right here we got power rule. And quotient. So we got two rules back to back. Q4, -3, and then Q, -15. Power rule states we play with the coefficients. Here there are no coefficients. All we have right here are exponents, where are the smaller little numbers. Power rule states for exponents, what do I do with them? Multiply. 4 times -3, Q -12 over Q -15. And then right here I have a fraction. That's the quotient rule. Quotient rule states what? What do I do with the exponents? Yes, we subtract. Subtract, subtract, subtract. Right underneath, -12 minus -15. Calculate real quick. 12 minus -15 will give me a +3, so it's just Q to the 3. Now what if that would have been a -3? Let's just say if it was a -3, then that would change into, well, I can't have a -3 straight up like that. I would have to make it into a fraction, 1 over Q to the -3. Sir, where did I get the 1 from? The 1 just comes from making that fraction. We can't have nothing on the top. So what's nothing? If we just need to put something, just put a 1. There's something there when you make it into a fraction. Put that 1, boom. This is a if. If this is the answer, make sure this is an if. So far, so good. Remember to pause it if you're going too fast. Another quotient rule. So as you can see, I'm just trying to get you guys going with the quotients. Why? Because we need to make sure we know what to do when we get negatives. Here we go. So I got 14 over 8, A4, B6, C -10, A -2, B3, C -5. Let's do it. What do I do with the coefficients? Go back up to the top. What does coefficients say for quotient rule? We must reduce or divide. Like I said, go to a numWorks calculator, make your life a whole lot easier. Put the fraction, 14 over 8 reduces to 7 over 4. And then we start doing good stuff. Let me rewrite that a little bit better. 7 over 4. What do I do with these exponents? Go back to the top, send it straightforward, subtract 4 minus -2. 4 minus -2 is going to give me A to the 6. Sir, there's a fraction. No, I'm going to talk about it right now. Next part, different color. Top from bottom, 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 gives me a 3. And the last one, top to bottom, -10 minus -5. Calculator, 10 minus -5 gives me a other -5. This will be my answer, but we need to fix it. Got a fraction. I have a negative. Let's fix it. Fraction. Check it out. My answer already starts with a fraction, so I don't need to get confused, I'm just going to put 7 and 4. Now I just need to make sure I put the correct people on the top and the bottom. Technically, this fraction went like this. Boom, it just went over. The only thing that we got to fix is that -5. So A and B were already up there. A to the 6, B to the 3. But this -5 can't stay up there because it's negative, so I need to bring it downstairs and change it to positive. C to the positive. And there's my answer. Boom, boom, chicka, boom, boom, boom. Easy. Easy peasy. Again, if you have questions, please stop by my tutoring hour at 10 o'clock. I'll log on. Make sure you get in there and hit me up. Ask me any questions. I'll give you conjectures and all that good stuff. Positive, you want to keep looking. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Which expression is equivalent to that? Let's do it. So right here is power and product. Power rule. Product. Rule. So I got 7x3 to the power of 2 times. I'm already putting the times because I know 2 sets of parentheses is multiplying. X to the 8 to the half. All right. So this one does have a couple things, but let's take care of business. Which one looks easier, this first set or the second set? If you're able to dictate real quick what you know what's easier, usually it's the smaller one. This one's a little bit smaller. Let's take care of business. What do I do with these exponents? Power rule. Power rule states at the very top, for exponents you must multiply. So multiply these two beautiful exponents, 8 times half. You should get x to the 4. Next, doing this part. There are 2 pieces inside this parentheses. I have a coefficient and I have a variable with an exponent. You are right if you say, boom, I know I need to multiply these. Perfect. But before we do that, because I need to have 2 parts, I need to split them up. So I'm going to do boom, and then put it right here, boom. It's from the first video last week. Put the 7 in here. Put the x to the 3 in here. And what goes with both of these? The 2. Now I broke this up. Now I have a beautiful straight line, and now we can get to work. This is calculated. If you already know, the exponent represents how many times or how many 7s there are when you're multiplying. 7 times 7 twice, because there's 2. 7 times 7 is 49. Or put this in the calculator to make your life easier. 49. Right here, I know some of us were going to try and get ahead. 2 times 3. 6. And then I can just bring this guy down. I took away the parentheses because we're already almost done. Last but not least, what do I do with these exponents? Product rule. Product rule says to multiply coefficients. There's only one coefficient, so we don't have to worry about it. What do I do with these exponents? Go to the product rule at the top. It says to add them. So I got 49. 6 plus 4. Back to the 10. So, pretty crazy, ladies and gentlemen. So we took care of the easy part. Then we came over here, made it a little less complicated, split it up, boom, boom, boom. Add at the end. You're good to go. Very important that you take step by step by step. Yes, There's no direct way for me to say do this in order because it really is up to you. Either you identify that, hey, I need to do this first, or you need to do the other one first. So just be able to make sure that you can dictate what you do first. Pause it. Let's look at the quiz real quick. 4 questions. Awesome. Remember, I like to hook you up with knowing what you're attacking first. So how are you? Of course, do the parentheses on top. This is the product rule. Make sure you wrote what the product rule is. If not, pause, rewrite to the beginning. Check out what we've talked about. Product rule first. Second, quotient rule. And then be careful. Be careful with negatives. No, you don't have to. Just kidding. Don't worry about the negatives. 2 rules. Both take care of the top and then work with the quotient. I applaud the people that are actually trying. I love it when you try. People that are not trying, sorry, you're going to see me again next year for sure. Okay, this was just like the example that we just did. You're going to do the power rule first, and then the product, just like the last example. If you need some help, go to the last example. There's no quotients. Take care of the exponent, take care of the exponent, do something at the end. Oh. 1, 2, 3, negative rule. Big key thing right here. So you take care of the exponents, you do something to the exponents. There's a big hint right here what to do with a negative something, if there's a negative. Next one. Oh, I didn't talk about this in the notes. I completely forgot. If you watched the video, I hope you watched the video. If not, I'm just going to tell you that 0 means something. Go to 2, 5, folder. That's all I'm going to tell you. Go to that folder, you'll see what's up. Watch the 0 exponent one. And the last one. This one only takes 2. This is going to be the power rule, and then the negative exponent rule. We talked about what happens with fractions. Right here, I'll give you a little bit of a nice little hint. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Break them up, half on each one. Take care of business. Then do the negative rule. You'll see something happen, all right? If you have any questions, let me know. Please do the discussion. A lot of us are not doing the discussion. That's an easy 100. Make sure you do the discussion. Easy 100 helps you out with your grade. Got 2 things to do. Y'all have a terrific day. Let me know if you need anything, okay?